Oh, good, a whole film focused on a group of philosophy people from Yale. See, I was worried this film would be super pretentious.
You don't know that! You don't know that!
All we want is accountability.
I don't feel comfortable having this conversation with you anymore.
Not everything is supposed to make you comfortable.
You know, I didn't expect to like this going in, and coming out, I'm still kind of deliberating a little bit over how I feel. It's a challenging one. Literally made by the man who made Challengers. It's quite a queer film. Made by the man who made Queer. It's just, it's got a very exciting cast. Julia Roberts, ayoedebiri, Andrew Garfield. But it's an unlikable film that I almost like. After the Hunt stars Julia Roberts as a philosophy professor at Yale. Andrew Garfield is her colleague who gets accused of sexual assault by a student played by ayoedebiri. By the way, the cinematic universe of ayoedebiri being surrounded by people who talk very pretentiously on one subject is growing. We've got cooking, music, and now philosophy. It keeps on going, yeah. And director Lucaguadagnino has made, I keep calling him that. It's really funny, but it's Guadagnino. I believe. He's made some interesting films of late. He made Challengers, which everyone was like, yeah. And then he made Queer, and I certainly hated that one. And this one is somewhere in between the two, I think. Okay, so strange film. Big Luca is on a tear through a wide variety of films this decade. He made like Bones and All, which I loved, and Challengers, which I really liked. And those were both kind of on the same level of reasonably accessible. Queer was his last one before this, and it took a turn into like full art house. Love it or hate it, it was definitely full art house kind of film. And this is back to being fairly accessible. It is quite a strange story. It's a long film, 2 hours 20, and you feel the length. You feel the length in any of his films because they are weighty. They are, girthy. They have a lot of like subject material to them. And that's not a bad thing necessarily. In this case, it feels like he's almost trying to, I think, he's trying to kind of make fun of these kind of characters because it feels like he almost doesn't know what to say about a situation like this because who would? And he's making fun of these people who think they know in abstract everything about morality and about what to do in situations to remain moral, and it witnesses how all three of them just like fall apart in those terms immediately as soon as something happens that actually challenges those beliefs and ideas. It's a kind of Shakespearean comedy, as in super fucked up and not that funny. I do like the performances and what they're trying to say and achieve with these characters. Julia Roberts, great to see her just banging one out, and Andrew Garfield, I didn't think it was possible to make me hate the guy, but yeah. And ayoedebiri, great, but just playing the kind of very, quite a similar role to what she's kind of been typecast in the last few years now. I think it's an interesting film. Lucaguadagnino does like to make these films where it feels weighty and all the characters feel important and are so beautiful and all this, but he likes to view their lives or a moment in their lives through the messiest lens and show how they just fall to pieces and aren't all that put together. And that's an interesting idea. It worked very well in Challengers. It works to a lesser degree here, in my opinion, but it does kind of work. There is something compelling enough about this that I went in not expecting to like it. It was 2 hours and 20 minutes long, which is longer than I thought it was going to be, and I came out kind of going, The entire idea behind this is, relevant topic, not lots of people daring to go there. The major idea at the center of the film you would expect to be the kind of diddy-dindy, because Julia Roberts, it's framed through her eyes, and she doesn't actually know for sure, for the vast majority of the film, whether he did or didn't do it, basically. And that's kind of the central, you would expect that to be the central idea, the central focus, but it becomes almost secondary to the just crash outs that all of these characters have throughout the film, especially Julia Roberts, because we get the most screen time out of her. But it was fascinating that they kind of drove to that direction, I think, as the film went on, and the whole idea behind did this thing even happen, it almost becomes irrelevant because once one of these events has started, I think what he was trying to say was that then it becomes such a big thing either way. And I don't know how I feel about that either, because it does massively matter whether it actually happened, and they kind of do shove it to one side, but I get what they're trying to do and vaguely what they're trying to say with it. It is, all of his films feel big and weighty, and it can be a slog to get through. I wouldn't have begrudged this being 2 hours long, but 2 hours 20 just felt like it was tipping the scales at turning into a bit of a slog. I do think it's interesting. I think all of his films have something to say that is worth listening to, but watching one can be like trying to get through a meal that's just tough and bitter at times. I'm giving these people would not be so angry if they had as much sex as the people in Challengers do. 3 stars. I can never look forward to a Luca Guadagnino film. I'll say that. I'm never looking forward to one. When it comes out, I kind of give it a fair enough shot, but I am normally expecting it to just be a bit of a slog to get through. This one kind of was, but I kind of liked it anyway. Feel very strangely about this one. Normally I just love or hate his films.